No, the difference, it's Team Tech Trust. You've heard the saying, you get what you pay for, and we're talking about the value of an advisor. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, we're going to have that on the Annex Wealth Management YouTube channel. The value of an advisor, this came from Russell Investments, and it's quite good. They broke it up into an A, B, C, P, and T. A was annual rebalancing. B was behavioral mistakes individual investors typically make. C is the cost of basic investment-only management. We're talking about robo-advisors here. Brandon Lehman joins me, and we're going to pick things back up with the value of an advisor. We are to P, and that's planning costs and ancillary services. This is really where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, and this is really what Annex is all about. This is true holistic planning to help you reach and achieve those financial outcomes and goals you strived your whole life to build towards. And I think, put this all in perspective, Russell Investments has done a great job here. And there was a study as well done by Kitces, Michael Kitces, if you're familiar with who that is.
Kind of a rock star in the world, right?
He is, yep. Especially in the registered investment advisory world. And standalone planning, their study proved that standalone planning is about $2,080 a year, or about 0.5% on a $400,000 account. That's just putting the plan together. So that's the time the planner puts in, the investment team puts in, the tax planning team puts in. All those individuals, when they sit down, they start building all of this and come to you with a plan. Now, obviously, that's not just a one-time plan. And I think that's where a lot of people tend to get lost, is they think, well, it's a plan, it's set in stone, but really we're monitoring this throughout the year.
Dave Spano talks about this. Back in the old days, you'd give everybody a book and it would be like, see you later. It's not. This is living and breathing.
Correct. And with the software that we utilize here, I call it a living plan. You know, this is a living, breathing document where you can sit down. So I just did this with an individual, and we sat down, we reviewed the plan. And we looked at it with everything that's gone on. And while it had gone down, I think we talked about this last week, it's still in good shape. And that's the key. It's a living, breathing plan. And what people don't often realize is, along with building that plan, there's so many, as you said, ancillary services, as Russell puts it. Savings and distribution analysis. You look at investment and cash flow planning. Stock options, an area where I have spent a significant amount of my career, is looking and viewing, understanding stock options from major publicly traded corporations. You look at property and casualty review and partnering with somebody who can help with that. Long-term care insurance. The list goes on and on of all the different things that we do here. And there's really a value for that. And Russell puts it, somewhere in the lines of 0.5 to 0.75% for all that time that they're putting in for you. And I think that's key to understand, that it's not just what you see, that one meeting a year, that those 3-4 meetings a year where you sit down and you view it. This is a lot of time put in by quite a few people behind the scenes to create your plan.
The real beauty of it, too, is we're a fee-only fiduciary. So we're not generating this stuff to generate commissions. This is part of the fee.
That's what's so important. We are doing this because it's in your best interest. To us, what matters is giving you the best solution and supporting you and helping you find your financial goals and outcomes.
So you're in the backyard at the cookout and your neighbor says, oh, Brandon, I can do all this myself. And it's like, wait a minute, probably not.
There's a few things you probably could. You might be really good at the investment side. You might be really good at the tax side, depending on what you do for a living. However, we can bring together a whole group of folks and experts to help you in all those areas.
Oh, you said it. You said taxes. We're T, and that stands for tax smart investing.
Yes. This is the last thing. This is, I don't want to say newer, but it has come out more recently, probably in the last 5 years, where this has been a big focus, because you started to see years where people were paying taxes but getting no returns on their mutual funds. And that's called your capital gain distributions. So you need to be tax aware and tax smart when it comes to your investing plan. And when you work with Annex, you work with our investment team, we develop a strategy in conjunction with our tax planning team on what makes the most sense for your investment goals and objectives. And we have to be very tax cognizant of what we're doing. And I've talked about this constantly on the radio, how important it is to understand what your investments are, where you hold them, and what they are doing. Because in April, you might not realize back in March that it's going to have a negative impact next April on you.
You also use that phrase I hadn't heard before, but tax drag. I mean, think about it. It's an anchor.
It is an anchor. And, Russell Investments does a great job of quantifying this. And we can sit down with each individual and look at what your actual tax drag is of your portfolio and help you basically unwind that and get to what would be more tax efficient in the long run.
The value of an advisor. I think you've demonstrated the case very nicely. Brandon Lehman is a wealth manager at Annex Wealth Management. That's how we think. That's how we operate. When it gets down to it, think carefully about the value of a fee-only fiduciary. That is the value of an advisor. Brandon Lehman, appreciate it.
Danny, thank you so much.
If we can help, head to annexwealth.com and click that Get Started button.